Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to discuss about the dependency theory. Before we're going to proceed to our discussion, here are the objectives of our topic for today. After studying this topic, you will be able to first explain the origins and major versions of dependency theory. Second, examine the major concept in dependency theory. And third, narrate criticisms of dependency theory. In our part 1, our introduction, dependency theory emerged in Latin America during the second half of 1950s as a critique of liberal theories of socioeconomic and political development. So dependency theory can be defined as an explanation of the economic backwardness of a nation state due to the external influence. Teotonio dos Santos, one of the major proponents of dependency theory, he defines the dependency theory as a historical condition which shapes the structure of the world economy in favor of some countries, thereby adversely affecting the development of others. So, before we proceed, you might think if what is dependency or what is the meaning of dependency? So in this discussion, we define the dependency as a situation in which the economy of a country is conditioned by the development and expansion of the economy of another country. So in Tagalog, ang dependency po ay tumutukoy sa sitwasyon ng isang um, economy ng isang bansa na kung saan ay naka-conditions or depend sila doon sa development ng isa pang bansa. Dependency theory. So when we say theory, it is a well-supported explanation for how or why something happens, built from a strong set of facts, test, and evidence. So hindi lang po siya basta gawa-gawa or haka-haka lang ng mga information. In dependency theory, it seeks to understand and explain the reason for the persistent economic backwardness and underdevelopment of the countries in Global South and set forth suggestions to resolve this problem. So, sa dependency theory, pinapaliwanag po dito kung bakit mayroong mga mahihirap na bansa ang nanatiling mahirap at mayroong mga mayamang bansa ang mas muunlad at mas nagiging mas mayaman pa. So, dito rin sa dependency theory na nagsasabi na mayroong mga mahihirap na bansa ang mas lalong naghihirap dahil umaasa sila doon sa mga mas mayayamang bansa. Maaring sa usapang pangangalakal, usapang kapital o pamumuhunan, teknolohikal at iba pang mga pangangailangan. So, dahil dito, mas lalong yumayaman yung mga mayayamang bansa at mas lalong nahihirapang umunlad naman ang mga mahihirap na bansa. So there have different version of dependency theory. Dependency is not a single unified theory, rather it is a set of theories or frameworks to study continued economic dependence and underdevelopment in some countries, regions, and its social, cultural, economic, and foreign policies fallouts. So the first version of dependency theory is what we call moderate version of dependency theory. So, according to the work of Raoul Prebisch, played a major role in generating the dependency theory. So, according po sa kanya, it is the adverse term of trade or what we call TOT with those developed countries po na mayroon pong mga historically deteriorated economic condition for those Latin American countries. So, ang TOT po or yung terms of trades ay tumutukoy sa ratio between a country's export prices and dun po sa mga import prices nila. So these primary commodities or those katulad ng mga raw materials or mga fresh products are being processed and transformed into a new or finished products in the industrially advanced countries. So yung ginagawa po ng mga advanced countries is kumukuha po sila dun sa mga raw materials o mga fresh products and then pinaprocess po nila yon and tinatransform into new or finished product na kung saan magkakaroon po sila ng bagong kita sa mas mataas na presyo ng produktong ginawa nila mula doon sa mga primary commodities, materials, or products. So in other words, some countries export their primary commodities at lower or cheaper prices, and then they import finished products at higher prices, and because of that, meron po yung effect sa kanilang economy. For example, here in the Philippines, dito po sa atin is marami pong mga raw products, marami po tayong mga produkto na kung saan ay ibinibenta po natin sa mga mayayamang bansa, sa mga advanced countries. And then yung nangyayari po is, yung gagawin po ng mga bansang iyon is ipaprocess po nila yon or ita-transform po nila yung mga product natin into something new, something mas quality, may quality. And ang gagawin po nila is ibebenta nila ulit iyon sa atin or bibili tayo ulit sa kanila in a higher prices na po. The second version of dependency theory is what we call radical dependency theory. So sabi po dito, ang radical dependency theory is built upon Marxism and Lenin's understanding of imperialism. So Andre Gunder Frank, James Cockcroft, and Dolly Johnson are considered to be the radical dependency theorists. So according sa mga radical dependency theorists, they argue that the motive force behind the dependency relationship is yung tinatawag po nating global capitalism. So, ang sabi din po dito, the developed countries find markets for their finished products in developing countries, which means yung mga developed countries is magpo-produce or gagawa po sila ng mga new finished products, yung mga high quality products nila or yung mga high advanced products, and then yung gagawin po nila is ibebenta po nila iyon sa mga developing countries katulad ng Pilipinas. So, for example, yung mga bansang mayayaman na bansa, gagawa sila ng mga katulad ng mga computers, cellphones, or mga sasakyan, and then ibebenta po nila iyon sa mga developing countries. And kapag naibenta na po nila, syempre marami na po yung bibili and magiging trend or magiging sikat siya, and then marami na po yung mga gustong bumili. So kapag marami na po yung bumili sa kanila, mas tataas yung kita nila. And for those mga developing countries, so sila po is patuloy po silang aasa doon sa mga products na gawa ng mga developed countries. According to radical dependency theory, underdevelopment as a condition differs from undeveloped. Undeveloped is a condition of lack of knowledge, while the underdevelopment is the result of exploitation by another country. So pinapaliwanag po dito yung pagkakaiba between undeveloped and underdevelopment. Sabi po dito, yung mga undeveloped, ito po yung condition na kung saan kulang sa development or walang progress, walang pagbabago na nangyayari. While sa underdevelopment naman po, sinasabi po dito, somehow, nagkakaroon po ng development, nagkakaroon ng progress, yun lamang po is nagkakaroon po siya ng development because of exploitation or sinasamantala ng isang bansa kung ano yung kahinaan or pwede niyang gamitin para sa isang bansa. So, as a result, the countries in the periphery or yung mga mahihirap na bansa, sila yung mga kadalasang nagluluwas o nagbibigay ng nagbebenta ng mga raw materials o mga raw products have to depend upon the core or developed countries o yung mga mayayamang bansa para sa capital, sa technology, and sa mga finished good. So, according po dun sa ating radical dependency theorist katulad ni Frank, sabi niya po, underdevelopment is the condition created by the exploitation of developing countries by the undeveloped countries. So the last but not the least version of dependency theory, the third dependency theory, is what we call world system theory. So it is proposed by Immanuel Wallerstein, is the comprehensive version of the dependency theory. So in contrast doon po sa moderate and radical dependency theorists who limit their study to the economic relations between the core and periphery, so ang world system theory po ay nag-focus on a broader geographical framework. So according po kay Wallerstein, this capitalist world economy is characterized by the production for the market to gain the maximum profit na kung saan minsan nagre-result po siya into the unequal exchange relation between the core and peripheral state. And also, Wallerstein introduces the semi-periphery as a third category between the periphery and the core. It means is nasa gitna siya, or isa siyang bansa na kung saan mas maunlad siya sa periphery states pero hindi naman po siya kasing yaman ng mga nasa core states. Therefore, sabi po dito, the world system theory is a critique of liberal and modernization theories of socio-economic and political development. So, the world system theory further holds the semi-periphery states. It divides the periphery and it makes a unified opposition against the core as a difficult task. However, the world system theory argues that the contradiction within the capitalist global economy will lead to the decline of capitalism and its replacements by socialism.
So, good morning po. Yung discussion ko po is about the major concepts and dependency theory, which is may apat po akong part. Yung dependency as the result of historical process, core periphery, semi-periphery, and enclave economy dependency theory. Pangatlo po is yung dependency theory as a critic of liberal. Number 4 po, yung critic of modernization. So, yung major concept po, pag na-discuss po siya, ito po yung mga key principle para po mas maintindihan kung ano yung dependency theory. So, yung first major concept po ng dependency theory is dependency as the result of historical process, which is it is a specific historical process through centuries of colonialism and domination. The colonial and dominant capitalist power restricted the socio-economic institutions of the colonies and underdeveloped regions. So, ibig sabihin po, yung dependency po ng isang country is historical process, which is hindi siya nangyayari hindi siya nangyayari basta-basta, may pinanggalingan po yon. Like for example, nung sinako po ng mga colonial countries yung Pilipinas, or which is yung may mga most powerful country po, mas nagkaroon po sila ng power para mas kung ano yung mga dapat gawin sa economy or sa beliefs or sa mga way of living po ng mga Pilipinos, which is kung titingnan natin, mas nagkaroon ng mas nag-develop yung mga most or parang may mga power na country kaysa sa mga underdeveloped, which is restructured, nababago nila yung way of living ng mga Pilipino. So sadly po, kahit hanggang ngayon nangyayari pa rin po yung dependency kasi dahil nabago tayo, parang yung iba sa atin yung way of living nakadependent na sa kung ano yung mga tinuro sa atin, which is yung sarili nating culture or yung the way tayo mamuhay ay nabago na dahil sa mga most powerful countries na colonize sa atin.
And ang second major concept ng dependency theory is yung core periphery, semi-periphery, and enclave economy dependency theories, which is categorize the economies into two broad categories, the core and periphery. So, first, yung core economies. So, ano nga ba yung core economies? Core economies are the developed countries in the global north. Example, yung Europe, USA, and Japan, which is characterized by advanced technology and industries supported by powerful state governments and a strong middle class. Number 2 naman is yung periphery, which is it is referred to the developing countries and least developed countries in the global south. Like for example, yung Africa, South Asia, and Latin America, which are dependent on the production of primary commodities. And may two parts siya, yung semi-periphery and yung enclave economy. Yung semi-periphery, sila yung mga developed countries pero nakaka-encounters pa rin sila or nakaka-experience sila ng challenges as developing countries. And yung pangalawang under ng periphery is yung enclave economy, which is a territory within a periphery in which foreign capital is invested for extracting raw materials such as minerals, oil, and plantation. Even though na nakakatulong siya sa economy, or nakakatulong siya para sa mga tao na magkaroon ng maraming like job opportunities kapag nag-extract sila ng mga materials, like for example yung mining mga companies dito sa Pilipinas na nagma-mining sila para mas maraming buildings na mapatayo, which is nakakatulong nga kung mabibigyan ng trabaho yung mga tao, kikita sila, pero hindi siya totally nakakatulong sa developing countries, lalong-lalo na sa environment and sa economy. Yung pangatlong concept po ng dependency theory is yung dependency theory as a critic of liberal. Ibig sabihin, liberal thinkers of economic development believe that free markets and free trades are the key to economic growth. May apat po tayo na liberal thinkers, si Adam Smith, si Jean-Baptiste Say, si David Ricardo, and Jeremy Bentham. According kay Adam Smith, believe that economic activities should operate freely without government regulations. And add to that, a free market and naturally promotes economic progress and development. Pangalawa po si Jean-Baptiste Say. He supported the laissez-faire or a free market economy with minimal government intervention. He believed this would lead to prosperity and full employment. For example po, si Jean naniniwala siya na kapag ang isang tao nag-decide na ang isang negosyo, like kunwari magbe-bakery siya, mas mapapabilis yung process ng plano niya kung walang restriction galing sa government. Ibig sabihin, konti lang yung mga process, konti lang yung requirements na ipapas para mas mabilis mapagawa yung negosyo. And kapag naging successful na yung negosyo, mas makakapag-hire or makakapag-employ yung bakery ng mas maraming tao, which is dahil doon nagkakaroon ng mas maraming trabaho yung mga tao. Ang pangatlong liberal thinkers is si David Ricardo, which is he introduced the theory of comparative advantage, which state that countries should specialize in producing goods they can make most efficiently and engage in free trade so that all countries can benefit. According kay David, na kapag daw yung ginawa ng isang country or ng isang grupo is yung mas makakatulong or mas kailangan ng isang lugar o ng isang bansa, mas maganda daw yun kasi kapag nakipag-trade na tayo sa other country, hindi lang tayo yung magbe-benefits, kundi yung other country din, which is yung support na galing sa atin, nagiging dahilan yun kung bakit nakaka-benefits din yung other country. Yung last liberal thinkers po ay si Jeremy Bentham. He believed that free trade and democracy would maximize people's happiness and improve society by benefiting the greatest number of people. Naniniwala si Jeremy na kapag mas maraming tao ang nakikinabang, mas na parang mas nasasatisfy sila sa way of living po nila. Tinatawag din po tayong problem of liberalism, which is although liberalism encouraged economic growth and industrialization, it also created social inequality between the owners and the workers or yung for example, yung isang factory nag-improve siya. So yung dahil maraming bumibili, yung may-ari ng factory, mas lumaki yung kita niya dahil sa factory niya. Pero yung yung sweldo ng mga nagtatrabaho under factory, hindi tumaas yung sweldo. So yung nagbe-benefits yung may-ari lang ng factories, yung mga workers niya hindi nagbe-benefits. Yun yung tinatawag na problem of liberalism. Therefore, yung dependency theory, nireject niya yung mga thinking ng mga liberal thinkers, lalong-lalo na yung kay David Ricardo theory of comparative advantage, arguing that free trade often benefits developed countries more than developing countries and reinforces economic dependency. And yung pang-apat po na major concept ng dependency theory is yung critic of modernization theory. It is a perspective that the less developed countries can achieve development through accelerating economic growth and replacing the traditional values and social, political, and economic system with the developed countries. Ibig sabihin po nito na naniniwala yung modernization theory na kapag ginaya natin kung anong beliefs ng other country or ng developed countries, mas mag-i-improve yung economic growth ng mga developing countries. But dependency theory criticized the modernization theory for ignoring the effects of colonialism, unequal trade and investment, and the different historical, social, and cultural experience of developing countries. It argues that there is no one-size-fits-all path to development. So, dependency theory criticized the modernization kasi naniniwala yung dependency theory na hindi sapat na gayahin lang natin yung developed countries or gayahin lang ng developing countries yung developed countries para umunlad din. Dahil may iba't ibang way of historical process or yung culture or yung situation sa iba't ibang bansa. So, no one size fits at all or walang iisang paraan lang, hindi isang paraan lang para umunlad yung isang bansa.
So, sinasabi sa Development of Underdevelopment by Andre Gunderbank states that the underdevelopment of poor peripheral countries is caused by the economic development of rich core countries. Rich countries become wealthier by exploiting the natural resources, labor, and markets of poor countries. A result, development in the core produces poverty and underdevelopment in the peripheral. So, sinasabi po dito is yung kahirapan na may mahirap na bansa ay bunga rin o resulta ng pag-unlad ng mga mayamang bansa. Yung mayaman ang bansa dahil ginagamitan ng likas na yaman, murang paggawa or labor, at pamilihan ng mga mahihirap na bansa. Dahil dito nananatiling umaasa at hindi umuunlad ng mahihirap na bansa, madaling tandaan habang yumayaman ang mayamang bansa, lalong nagiging mahirap at umaasa ang mahirap na bansa. For example, sa Pilipinas, nagbebenta ng saging at nickel sa murang halaga sa ibang bansa. Ginagawa ng mayamang bansa ang mga ito bilang mamahaling produkto at ibinibenta mula sa mas mataas na presyo. Mas malaki ang kita nila kaysa sa Pilipinas. The next is the neoliberal globalization enriching dependency. Sasabi ito na dominated by transitional cooperations or TNCS and international financial institutions such as the IMF strengthens and the dependence of developing countries on developed countries instead of promoting equal development. Globalization increase inequality and limits the economic independence of peripheral states. Yung sabi dito is sinasabi ng dependency theory na ang globalization ay hindi laging pantay or equal benepisyo. Mas nakikinabang ang malalaking kumpanya sa Transitional Corporation o TNCS at mga organization tulad ng IMF. Dahil dito, mas umaasa ang mahihirap na bansa sa mayayamang bansa para sa puhunan, trabaho at pautang. Mas lumalalim ang pagdepende ng mga mahihirap na bansa sa mga mayayamang bansa. For example, nangutang ang isang bansa sa IMF bilang kapalit, kailangan itong bawasan ang gastos ng government at education at kalusugan. Dahil dito, nahihirapan ang mga mamayaman at patuloy na umasa ang bansa sa tulong ng ibang bansa. Next, criticism of dependency theory. A liberal modernization crisis. Liberal and modernization theorists argue the dependency theory cannot explain why some developing countries successfully industrialized and became economically competitive. Ang sinasabi po dito sa liberal modernization theory says, hindi sapat ang dependency theory dahil may mga bansang dating mahirap ngunit naging maunlad. Example, sa South Korea, dating mahirap sila ngunit maunlad dahil sa education, industrialization at technology at mahusay sa pamamahala ng isang government nila. Lahat ng mahihirap na bansa ay nanatiling hindi lahat ng mahihirap na bansa ay nanatiling mahirap. It depends the system of the next is by the Cardos revision. Ferdinand Henrique argued that the industrial development is possible even within a department in relation a concept known as associated dependent development. Sinasabi dito ayon kay Fernando Cardoso, maaring umunlad ang isang bansa kahit umaasa ito sa dayuhang pamumuhunan. Halimbawa, may isang dayuhang company nagtayo ng pabrika sa Pilipinas or mga factory, kahit galing sa ibang bansa ang puhunan, nagkakaroon naman ng trabaho ang maraming Pilipino at lumalago ang industriya. Sinasabi na umuunlad kahit may dependency. Then next kay Marxist criticism. Kay Marxist criticism, sinasabi dito na criticize dependency theory for overlooking important Marxist concepts such as class struggle, relation of production, and difference among peripheral countries. Ayon kay Marxist, hindi lang ang relation ng mayayaman at mahihirap na bansa ang dahilan ng kahirapan. Mahalaga ring tignan ang bawat space or agwat ng mayayaman at mahirap sa loob mismo ng isang bansa. Example, sa Pilipinas, may ilang mayayamang negosyante na patuloy pa rin na yumayaman habang maraming manggagawa ang nanatiling mababa ang sahod. Madaling sabihin na hindi lang isang bansa ang sanhi ng kahirapan, pati hindi pantay ang yaman sa loob ng bansa. Next is by Bell Warren's criticism. Bell Warren argued that the dependency can contribute to develop because capitalism helps transform traditional economies into industrial ones. Ang sinasabi ito ni Bell Warren, hindi laging masama ang dependency. Maaring ito yung magdala ng technology, puhunan, bagong kasaysayan or bagong industrialization. Kapag maunlad ang industriya, mas maraming manggagawang magkakaroon ng kaalaman at maaaring ipaglaban ang kanilang mga karapatan. Example, sa mga dayuhan na kumpanya, nagtatayo ng pabrika or mga factory ng sasakyan sa bansa. Natuto ang mga manggagawa ng bagong kasanayan, nagkaroon sila ng trabaho at umunlad ang industriya. Ang kapitalismo at dayuhan pamumuhunan ay maaaring magkatulong sa pag-unlad ng isang bansa.